Give him a thumbs up. Action.
You ready? So what we're going to cover is Guardian Physical Management. This is basically the fundamentals for our seminar training. It's an abbreviated curriculum. We do have a full curriculum, but that's mostly for people that want to train full time. This will get your guys started where they're all working together as a team. That's all we're trying to do is get everybody on the same page, try to limit our liabilities, etc. What we do is we have it broken down into blocks. We have 6 blocks. First block would just be the entries and primary positions. Second block would be your escorts. Third block would be your takedowns. Block 4 would be groundwork. Block 5 would be your team training. And block 6 would be the capo combatives. So,
Hold on, Dan. Do it one more time. And when you're done, give a little more explanation of what each thing is. Like your escort to get somebody this. When you're done, say, I'm going to go over each one of these.
okay.
Because me as a person who hasn't done it, I don't know. You know what I mean? Say, we're going to go over each block and explain to you, you know, however you want to say that. But you need to say something in the end. Okay? Okay. So just take it up from where you were. Okay? Just take it up from at the, right, you don't have to go through the whole thing again. Just, these are the blocks. Just go from there. Okay.
So these are the 6 blocks that we'll be covering. We'll be going each one a little bit more in depth so you understand what's going on. Each block builds upon the other one so that by the time you finish, you should have a really good understanding of how this system works. So the first thing we're going to work on is distance management. Okay, distance management, as most of you know, is very important. Action will always beat reaction. If he comes up, if I allow him to get this close to me, even if he has his hands down, okay, he can still hit me without me being able to do anything about it, okay, and vice versa. So this is a very dangerous position to be in, especially if you're dealing with an altercation or something like that. So you always want to keep a little bit of distance between you. The way we do that is by using the fence. Okay, it could be an aggressive type fence. This is a little bit more of an aggressive, it's more of a control type fence. This is maybe if somebody's being really aggressive towards you, coming at you, you just want, hey, you know, use your de-escalation skills at this point. This is when you're talking to the person, trying to talk them down, trying to find out what's going on, etc. Okay, if they encroach on you, you can also, it's very easy to keep them at distance, keep them at bay, okay? But for the most part, we don't want to put our hands on them, okay, unless they actually take a punch at us or something like that. But anyway, this is just your distance management, okay? You can soften it up a little bit. You can have your hands open, okay? Maybe you're dealing with somebody that's not as aggressive, but could potentially become aggressive. You can use it more of an open type handwork and stuff. But just make sure that they're keeping that distance, okay? Another way that we do the distance management is through shadowing. So if I'm here and he starts encroaching on me, I want to move over to an angle, okay? I never want to shadow him straight back. In other words, I don't want to just move straight back, okay? Always cut that angle. And that still gives you that nice distance that you want. On the other side here, usually what I do is I'll move this foot over this way. So when they're coming in, I'll catch this. And this puts me in a nice position here, okay? Tap back, we covered that just a little bit. When they encroach on you, okay, if you can't move back, in other words, if I can't retreat, there's no place for me to retreat to, I've got walls on me or maybe people are beside me, and I need to keep that that distance control that distance management. When he moves in on me, I can tap him back. Okay. Be careful with this. Usually the only time that we use a tap back, a drive, and all these other things that we're going to get into in a few minutes is if I have other team members behind the person. So if he encroaches on me and I tap him back, my team members will have them. Okay? The problem is if I just do it and maybe I've got adrenaline dump or something, I hit them, they go back and they hit their heads on tables or this or that or fall to the floor, hit their head on the concrete. That's a problem for all of us. Okay, so be very careful about using things like the tap back. The other one that we use is called a drive. So when they come in, this is usually used by people, maybe they're not really big and strong in the sense, so they want to use the power of their legs. So when he comes in, I'm going to make sure I tuck my chin, and I'm just going to drive him back. When he comes in on me, hands down, the hands just cover each other, chin down, and just drive them back. Again, you should be driving them back into your partners. When we get into the team training, that's what you'll see happening, okay? Like I said, be very careful with these techniques. If somebody's a little impaired, they don't have that good a balance or something like that, he comes in, it can really do a lot of damage to it. They fall down, hit the back of their head, etc. So be very, very careful with these. The next thing we're going to...
Can you do the last push, when you were telling them to be careful? I want a different angle on that one.
So be careful when you do the tap back and drive and those type of techniques, because if somebody's impaired or is not that well balanced or something like that, when they come in at you and you tap them back, if there's no teammate behind them, they could easily fall and hit their head, do some damage, hit the ground, the back of the head hits the ground. It's all bad, okay? So we don't want to do that. For us, on our team, mostly what we do, if we do a tap back or a drive or anything that pushes them backward where they're possibly going to lose their balance, we always have a team member behind them, okay? The next ones that we're going to get into, should have brought my whiteboard.
Do you need a podium or something?
So what we're going to get into now is covers and entries. Okay, we're only going to use two. We'll keep it simple. Cover, we use a rhino. It's basically just cover your head here. And some people like to hold like this. Some people like to hold their hand open. It's really up to you. The main thing, will you do the rhino? The main thing what we're trying to do here, we're trying to protect that jawline, okay? We're trying to protect the back of the head a little bit, the chin, all these things, okay? So this is just a temporary position, a very temporary position. So, come on around. So we use this is most people that are untrained will come in with an overhand right or some type of strike like that. This will come in and he'll catch me right here, okay? So if I'm striking, boom, he's gonna enter right in. What he's doing is he's getting out of the danger zone. So if he's right here, obviously I can strike, right? So he's getting past where I'm striking with that entry, okay? And then from this entry, we will go into one of our clinches, okay? The way you want to practice is so that you can do it with full power. Yeah, get the big one. This is a way that you can practice the rhino with full power. And for accuracy, you can use a smaller one. Try to put it right about where you'd want to hit. Obviously, you don't want to break any bones up in this structure right here. We're actually going more for the solar plexus down here, okay? Just to knock the wind out of it. Now again, This is a very powerful movement. You don't want to hit them unless it's absolutely necessary or you have your teammates behind you, okay? Because once they hit him, he's probably going to fall backwards. That's where you want to have your teammates behind you.
Hold on, pause. Don't stop it, but I'm gonna grab him a table. Hold on.
Okay.
You can pause it if you want.
This is weird. So used to teaching classes,
Right.
but this is so different.
Mm-hmm.
Much
Mm-hmm. That's why whenever I would teach before at the dojo and somebody would start filming, I'm just like, it just feels weird. Like even though it's an actual class, it's weird.
different. Like,
It's-
please no.
yeah.
Well, because it's different looking at a student and having them react to you, whereas looking at a camera, you're just like,
Right.
are you getting it?
Yeah.
Next time I'll bring my whiteboard too.
Oh.
That way I'll have it in the back.
Oh, yeah.
That way I don't
Oh,
have to
Dana, you brought the tape.
take this.
You can just, you can set it up
You
like that.
brought the table so you could use it to like smack him over the head with.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. This could help.
It's like if anybody ever picks up a table and tries to swing it at you, do this.
That's when you need a folding steel chair.
Yeah.
I once saw a picture. It was like,
One moment.
it was like a meme picture of like, it's like a rifle and it's like a hunting rifle and it's
Yeah.
just labeled rifle, and then like a picture of like an AO, like an M16. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
assault rifle. And then a picture of a chair like that. It's like chair, and then a picture of a folding steel chair, assault chair.
Assault shit, yeah.
No stand up menu.
What?
Stand up menu on this.
I have stands, but they won't fit that size paper.
I got what I need here, I think.
Alright.
I got what I need.
Is this a big through already? We're at Rhino already.
Oh, you got some?
Oh, we put a show
Okay, good. All right. All right, so go ahead.
Okay, and we are ready?
I want to backtrack just a little bit, going back to the fence. One thing that this, one of the uses of the fence is when you have your hands up like this, your other teammates should see you and they know that you're having a situation, so they can come and back you up right away. So this is not only, is it helping you keep your distance, but it's also telling your other teammates that you might need some assistance here, okay? Going on to the entries. One of the things that we use is the arm drag. So if somebody's coming at you, you know, they're trying to poke at you or this or that, you know, maybe wanting to grab you or something like that. When they come in, it's just really simple. You can strike here and then come around, but really most of the time, it's very easy to get behind somebody, okay? Now, when I do this, there's two ways of, or there's 100 ways of doing it, but the two ways that we utilize, say for instance, if Bernard here was way, way bigger than me, okay? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use him as an anchor and I'm gonna pull myself through. If maybe it's somebody that I feel like I can control fairly easy, if he comes in, or maybe they're a little bit impaired, okay, then I might pull them to me. Okay, so the difference, I'm moving in, or I'm pulling them to me, okay? So now we're gonna move on to the clinches, and these will fall into the clinches pretty easily. The first clinch we'll go over is the underhook with extension, okay? So basically, this is just an underhook on one arm and then extension here, okay? So we're coming in, underhook with that extension, okay? And especially if your partner has the other side, you can escort them out from this position, okay? Don't have your hand too far up here because they can just take advantage of that. Make sure that you're covering so that he can't move in on you, encroach in on you, okay? So, underhook with extension, okay? The other one that we use, Russian tie. So, from the arm drag, I can easily get to the Russian tie to this position, okay? Now, from this position here, we have all kinds of takedowns, we have all kinds of escorts that we can utilize. For the most part, I never want to be right in front of the person that I'm dealing with. I always want to get to the side or to the back for my own safety and my teammates' safeties. So he comes in, and then I want this Russian tie. There's a lot of different ways you can do the Russian tie for escort, but for basics, you just want to extend this just a little bit, okay, and then keep them moving forward. The harness from the arm drag again. So the harness, okay, this isn't a choke, so I'm not trying to rear naked choke or anything like that. What I'm doing is I'm putting pressure right here in this shoulder pocket. I'm covering my fingers so he can't pull my fingers out, okay? And I'm gonna hip bump a little bit to keep him off balance, okay? From this position, try to get out. It's a pretty secure position, okay? Again, you can get to that from the arm drag also. Here, we just slide in behind, and we've got it, okay? And then from here, I can escort him out, or my teammates, they can grab hold of an arm, and then we'll go from there. We'll get into that in the team training. So you can,
Can you
the
do,
other,
can you do the other arm one more time?
This one,
The front arm,
Oh, this one,
Yeah.
okay.
one more time.
slow or fast?
Slow to show the movements.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
No, just the last one.
Oh, the second one,
Just
Seat
the,
belt.
Oh,
the,
okay.
harness.
the harness.
And the other thing to remember too is so that you don't get your head slammed by him doing a headbutt or something, keep your head and keep his head off his point. What I mean by that is keep him off balance a little bit. If his head is straight up like this, he can be much stronger. If I have him here and I keep his head off balance a little bit, you can try it yourself, you can punch. If you turn your head like this, it really feels awkward trying to punch, okay? So that's what we're trying to achieve there. And I can also use him as a block. Maybe I've got 2 or 3 guys coming at me. So I can use him as a cover. Let's move on to the transitions. For me, the underhook and extension, this is a temporary position. There's there's takedowns and stuff we can do for that. We'll get into that in the next block. But from here, I don't want to stay here because obviously I have a lot of targets for him, okay? But sometimes people are encroaching on you, and so it's hard to get somewhere else, so you have to take that entry shot, okay? Now from here, all I'm gonna do is, it's just like if he was gonna try to put me in a headlock. So when I go here, when he moves his hands up, I'm just gonna go to the back. So that's a transition. We use a couple of this, but this is the main one. Just doing a duck under. And then I've got, okay. The other one, the other transition. You may get, there's a lot of wrestlers and BJJ guys around here. So you may get somebody, good. You may get somebody that comes up and gets you in a collar tie like this, okay? So if they catch you in a collar tie, go ahead. And then you're right back to the Russian tie. And so if you notice what he's doing, he's just raising his hand up and he's using a full body movement. He's not just doing this. It's a full body movement. And you're moving your head out of the way of getting struck from this side. And then you've got that Russian tie again. And we'll go from there. So that's pretty much it for block one. I'm going to put on a vest and let Bernard show you how some of these things interact with each other. So when we train these techniques, we have three different things, three different levels that we train at. We have passive resistance, active resistance, and pressure testing, okay? So as you get better and better at the techniques, then we start adding to it so it becomes more pressure testing, okay? At the beginning, you know, we keep it kind of passive resistance. When I say passive resistance, that's kind of like, say Bernard was at the door and I don't have an ID, I'm not supposed to be able to get in, okay, he's trying to keep me from getting in. I'm not trying to hit him, so passive aggressive would be something like, hey man, I just want to go in and see my friends, you know, hey, my friends are there, come on man, just let me go in, okay. This is where your fence can help you keep that distance, okay, without actually hurting anybody. And also, but if you need to, you can also tap them back a little bit, you know. Not real hard if they're not being real aggressive, then just enough to keep that space, okay? Because you can only retreat for so long, all right? The active resistance, okay? Active resistance is when there's a threat of somebody coming in with strikes. So it's like, man, I'm going in. I don't care what you say, you know. Rhino to Russian tie. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you keep, so it's going to be a little bit more aggressive. I'm actually coming in. And now, when you get the clues, you'll see somebody, usually the precursors to this is, usually somebody will get into a bladed stance and A lot of times they're gonna double up their fists. A lot of times they'll be looking around, seeing if anybody's watching them. So keep an eye out on those clues. Usually before they attack, that's what happens. So if I'm gonna attack Bernard, I may be so, if you notice what he's doing is from here, boom, all the things we just looked at. Arm drag to the Russian tie. And a little bit harder. Pressure testing. Pressure testing is when we include the psychological effects of it, along with the physiological. So I'm actually going to be calling him names and da-da-da-da-da, really just trying to get to him, okay, before I attack, okay. What the hell, man? Get the out of my way. Get out of here. Get out of my way. So usually somebody will be yelling at you. They're calling you a racist. They're calling you this. They're calling you that. And then they're going to come in and boom. But the techniques are the same. Okay.
Can you try that on the other arm?
Oh.
Because when you're grabbing that arm, your body is blocking the.
Okay. Come on, man. Screw you. My friend's in there. There you go.
That was good.
And that pretty much includes block 1. And we'll go on to block 2 now. Block 2 is your escorts. You want to just keep going?
Yeah,
Oh, we take this one?
if you
Yeah.
want to take a break, we can take a break.
Rick, you want some water? Your voice